Dr. White, you were mentioning how you've pushed back on Catholicism, and you've seen how much the Marian doctrine has been, showing up online and things like that. But what I have noticed online, a lot on YouTube and in Christian theological online spaces, I'm starting to see a lot of attempted unity between Protestants and Catholics. So I wanted to know what your guys' opinion is on that. Is that something that can be achieved, or is that a hard line for you guys?
Well, obviously, it's interesting. The church where I'm a pastor is the home church of end abortion now. We're sort of hurting today because we had worked very, very hard to try to keep the abortion up to the point of birth initiative off of the ballot. The irregularities on that were incredible, but we got ruled against today. So it's an area that we work a tremendous amount in. What's fascinating is when we go to the abortion mills, and we're there pretty much daily, how we approach that is very, very different from the Roman Catholics. We're there to proclaim the gospel because we believe the gospel is the only way to address this particular subject. They just think that's terrible. And of course, we have a different message as to what the gospel is. So I have been saying for a while now, as secularization sweeps across the United States, we're going to be pushed into a smaller and smaller area, which means we're going to be in much closer proximity to Roman Catholics than back in the 1980s or something like that, where most people would never even have to engage in theological conversation, but we're being pushed into that area now in our day. And most Protestants don't know why they're Protestant. They don't know what the Reformation was about. They don't know what the issues are. They don't have an accurate knowledge. And these days with Francis, I don't think Francis has any idea what Francis believes these days. So that raises all sorts of really difficult, challenging issues. But the point is, I'll listen to Roman Catholic commentators, and I'm following along with them. And yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're seeing everything I'm seeing. And inevitably, at some point, we've been following along, and then all of a sudden, they hang a left and I hang a right. Because when you get to what we are to do about this problem, at some point, and as long as they're Orthodox, it's going to be, we need to pray to Mary. We need Mary to get involved. We need grace from Mary. And that's where I just go, whoa, we have a completely different answer to what's going on in the world. And so I'm seeing what you're talking about. I'm seeing, we all need to get together because part of it's, because there's so few of us anymore, we need to get the numbers as big as we can. But if people don't understand what the central issues are in regards to how do we address a culture that has become so debased in its morals and ethics because of a lack of an abandonment, a rebellion against the worldview that gave meaning to civil law in the United States. How do you respond to that? What's the future going to be? And unfortunately, the Roman Catholic answer is very different than the answer that I think a Bible believing Christian would give and would offer. And so, what kind of unity can we have if the fundamental way to change the culture, Western culture in Europe or the United States or Australia or whatever, and anywhere else in the world, is the gospel? And we don't have the same gospel. You don't have an imputed righteousness in Roman Catholicism. How do you have peace with God? What is that peace based upon? What does it mean that the Mass is a propitiatory sacrifice that perfects no one? What does that mean? And unfortunately, fairly small percentage of Roman Catholics know their theology well enough to even understand what those things are, and a far fewer percentage of Protestants understand Roman Catholic theology or their own history to know how important those things are. And so, yeah, I'll see tweets and I'm going, yeah, stand firm. That's great. And then the next tweet is, and the way we'll do this is through the intercession of Mary. That's a problem.